you are loving life. Loving it a lot more than probably what I expected you to, actually. To the point where, we were at the club and I'm like, man, it's like fucking 5:30 in the morning. Like, I'm pretty keen to go to bed.
And I'm just like, guys, one more
you're
song.
just like, no, come on, let's stay. I want to, and I'm just like, bro, I'm telling you, I want to go. And you're like, nah, come on, man. You give me like those little like chest bumps. You're like, come on, man. Like, come on. And it's just like, mate, I'm fucking going. We're going. I'm not staying. You're like, nah, but I haven't met you. Come on, you got to meet. And I'm like, I'm fucking going, man. Like, I'm not taking the piss anymore.
Yeah.
I'm actually like, that was low-key kind of mad that you don't want to leave. I'm going to be honest.
It is Morokaii 2 Eyes. We're back on every single Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, 7 a.m. on Spotify and 4:30 p.m. on YouTube. There's something a bit embarrassing today.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about it? Are you happy to talk about it?
I think I need to open up.
Oh, all right.
It was one of those moments. Yeah, my heart sank.
Oh.
I hated it so much.
What did you do?
Oh, I went, I was at work, and I was on my phone.
Okay.
Just put it in my pocket.
Everyone does.
Yeah. I know the story isn't exciting, like just normal, put it in my pocket, and just, I don't know, I reckon I did like 10 minutes of activities. And then I just pull my phone out, and I have done a mischief. Like it's gone into a terror mode.
Oh.
I'm on like Facebook pages that I don't even know, and I think I've accidentally liked one of them, and I'm like, oh, that's embarrassing.
That in itself was always like, oh shit.
I'm like,
sucks.
Jesus, and I kept pressing back on my phone, and every time I kept pressing back, it just kept going to different like areas of the page. I'm like, fucking hell, am I
like on the YouTube like deep search?
I was like, fuck, you must have just kept pressing on things. Anyway, I go to message my girlfriend, and I look, and I've messaged a girl I've never spoken to in my entire life. Like, and this was from clubbing days. I think it was I think it was just an ad from a club. I've tried to voice call her. And then I look, and then when that didn't work, I tried to video call her. This is all just in my pocket. And the minute I saw it, I was so embarrassed that I literally backed out, deleted the message, and I've just
blocked the person on Facebook. Like it never happened.
I was like, oh no. And none of it was seen when I saw it, so I'm just so...
That's a relief, I reckon.
She would have been so confused.
Oh.
I would have been so confused.
You naturally have to be like, hi.
Yeah.
Is everything all good?
Do you know when I was 15, I think it was the first time maybe I was catching up with you, like it was a sleepover. And I think I messaged the wrong kid at our school saying, hey man, can you make sure you bring the Xbox 360 controllers? I'll bring do you remember those little, those sugar...
Oh, the sherbet straw thing?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
I think I said something along those lines of just like, can you bring them too? And I sent a message, go do my own thing. I just sent a message. Yeah, bro, I'm not that guy. And I'm like, and it was like, if we went popularity stages, he would have been popular back then. And I was like,
he's definitely talking about me at school.
And I was like, oh, I'm going to have the nickname Sherbet Sticks or some shit like that.
There's nothing actually worse than your phone's just doing its own thing and you've accidentally done something.
Yeah, oh man, 100%.
Or like you think you're safe. The worst, actually, serial offender of this, having your phone and you get the little your eye starts to close over a little bit, you sort of tie, and the next thing you know, you've liked something or you're on someone's page or you've sent a random message and you're like, oh no.
Yeah.
Yeah. How do I? And the worst part is this genuinely happened on the podcast. I know that I've talked about that story before when I went through someone that I used to talk to when I was clubbing, and then I've accidentally hit the thumbs up, and it's just like, fuck. Because even if I remove the message, it will still come up with has removed. So it's a lose-lose situation.
And anyone who, if it's that old, that they sit back and they go, they've gone through lots of messages to find me, and they were at the message stage. Why did they send this? What is it?
There's no just
taking it back.
there is no hey, how's it going? So it's genuinely is everything all good? And you just have to then you either don't explain yourself and don't say anything, and you feel like you're a dick.
Yep.
or you then do explain yourself and you still feel like a dick. Like, it's a lose-lose situation. It's so uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Like, the feeling actually is like, ugh, like, I don't like this.
Yeah, it is uncomfortable. You know what was more uncomfortable? I remember sending a few messages when, in the single days, like after a clubbing session, like asking someone out. And I remember I look back and I'm like, why would you do that? Oh,
Did it come across as desperate as well? Or was it a genuine?
Think it would have.
Yeah, because there's that's a realization where you're like, oh no.
Yeah, if I think back, I go, why the fuck did you do that? And
a lot of time as well, it's like that hungover on a Sunday and you're just bored. Like, you just want someone to talk to.
Oh, yeah.
Like anyone. Like, I will actually go into the garden and just talk to a caterpillar, for God's sake. Give me something.
Oh, man. It's so fucking true, though. God, those after club messages sometimes could be rough.
Yeah. You like read it the next day and you're like, none of that makes any sense. Like, it's all just jargon and words that have been put together.
Oh, I hated it.
You're actually like reading the message and you're like, I sound like I'm an idiot.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not the brightest tool in the shed, but I sound even worse now.
The worst one was organising plans with people you don't even really know.
Yeah, and all of a sudden they're like, hey man, you're still good for dinner. And you're like, the fuck you on about?
I remember there was
the fuck I am.
I remember there was one guy in our group and he wanted it so badly. He wanted to celebrate something. Maybe it was his birthday. Selfish dick. He wanted to go after clubbing to a pub. So I'm talking like 12 in the afternoon after a big night out.
Jesus.
And
that's keen.
Yeah, and you can't say no to someone's birthday.
Yeah, he sort of roped in there. It's a bit of a stitch up.
So we pretty much partied till, what was the club open till, like 7 a.m., 8 a.m., something like that?
Something like that, yeah, 7.
And then 3 hours of just
chilling.
Chilling, kick-ons, like...
And maybe having a shower if you're lucky.
And that's when I crashed super hard at that point. Anyway, so there's like me, I think the girl I was seeing at the time, her friend, like 7 others.
Running on next to no sleep.
Literally nothing. Stage. And we're all sitting in this pub and he's ordered a Parma waiting for us. It's like, you guys going to eat? I'm like, I couldn't think of anything fucking worse. No, I'm not going to eat. Like, and so for his birthday, we're all just like literally hood on, looking at the table.
Depressed.
Dazed, depressed. Well, he's just got like a big old Parma. Like.
Smiles massive. Yeah. He's looking like the Joker.
I think he said even like, oh, I'm not going to lie, I wouldn't have come if I didn't know you were all not going to eat. And I'm like, mate, I wouldn't have come if it wasn't your birthday. Like, why am I at a pub on a Sunday?
Don't make me feel worse than what I already feel. How dare you? Kick-ons is such a funny thing in general, in the sense of when people are like, let's go to kick-ons, like people are like, yeah, can't wait, going to get back, going to get on it, drink more or whatever. My perfect envision of kick-ons is actually like, no, just come back, just have a chat like this, like an actual discussion, and then I'm going to go to sleep.
Definitely.
I cannot think of anything worse than still drinking that early in the morning. I would always cut myself off at about 2 a.m., 3 a.m.
Do you remember, I think it was the night Kobe Bryant died, actually.
Yeah, in the city.
I remember the city. Yeah. I wanted to kick on and keep going.
Yeah, you were so up and about.
Fucking much, and you were dead. And I was like, please, bro. Please. And you're just like dazed in and out.
Well, the problem is, so you had you used to go out clubbing quite a lot with myself, as well, and then you were sort of like, nah, like it's just not for me. Like I'm over it. Would rather spend my money and time on other things, and all that. I'm getting no enjoyment. Whereas I sort of still stayed around that sort of like scene more or less, and I was still like, it's still fun here and there. So I think, I don't know, I must have convinced you. I've been like, come on, man, just can't, like a big grouse time. Like, when was the last time you and I like had a good night? And you're like, you know what, fuck it, mate. I'm in. I'm down. Let's do it. You are loving life. Loving it a lot more than probably what I expected you to, actually. To the point where, we were at the club. I'm like, man, it's like fucking 5:30 in the morning. Like, I'm pretty keen to go to bed.
I'm just like, guys, one more
song.
You're
just like, no, come on, let's stay. I want to. And I'm just like, bro, I'm telling you. I want to go. You're like, nah, come on, man. You give me like those little like chest bumps. You're like, come on, man. Like, come on. And it's just like, mate, I'm fucking going. We're going. I'm not staying. You're like, nah, but I haven't met you. Come on, you got to meet. And I'm like, I'm fucking going, man. Like, I'm not taking the piss anymore.
Yeah.
I'm actually like, so low-key kind of mad that you don't want to leave. I'm going to be honest.
You're like sitting down. I'm like, bro, just like 10
Just
more
get
minutes.
up, come on,
and
have a
then you're
juice.
like, it's been 10 minutes. I'm like, all right, 5 more. And you're like, can't. And it was the
Credit
worst.
to you though, because you haven't been out in ages. So it was awesome to see you so up and about.
Yeah.
It was just like, man, like I can't.
Can't match his energy.
I'm sorry, but
And
I'm
it was
just
so
not
funny.
there with
As
you.
you're like dazing and dying off, you go in one room, a different mate comes out, and then
who's actually woken up.
Had his sleep.
Yeah.
He's ready to go
Yeah,
again.
he's
I'm
just
like,
fuck
thank
yeah.
God. But yeah, kick-ons are pretty funny because, mate, do you know what's funny? I see this a lot. It's mainly on TikTok. I see it a lot where people are like, oh, if your girlfriend goes clubbing, your boyfriend goes clubbing, red flag, red flag. I kind of believe it. I'm not going to lie.
Is that based on real life factual evidence?
Where's your proof, mate?
Just is that just maybe what you've experienced yourself? In all seriousness,
I've seen it with friends. I've seen it where it looks like people aren't acting faithful. I've had it with people in my group who have definitely not acted faithful. And then I think it's an age thing too. I think it's hard to be fully committed when you're maybe like 22, 23.
I definitely feel
That's
like that younger
different.
age where if you're always going out like there's just going to be dramas.
Yeah.
Like it
hard-
happens.
It's hard not to fucking have fights and start dramas, especially if you've got a big group going out. But I think when you hit like 26, you start pushing and going a bit further. If you're in a relationship, like a good relationship, usually I'm noticing people don't want to go out. Like it's a full-on effort. Like
it fucking is.
It is
man.
like a real effort. And like my girlfriend, she's got one of her close friends really wants to go out clubbing, right? She's like really wants to go. My girlfriend doesn't go clubbing. I was like, all right, well, how about this? Because she knows this girlfriend wants to, possibly hook up. She's like recently single,
Yeah,
like have that
like live
funny,
that
fun
life.
party life. And I said to her, perfect. Well, why don't you go out, wingman the hell out of her, wingwoman the hell out of her, have a good time till like 12-1. We'll make up some excuse where that's like your limit. I'll come pick you up. I'll make sure we've got like
That's
Maccas
perfect.
and I'll take you home. And I was like,
that's some good boyfriend material right there, ladies and
thanks,
gents.
mate. But I was like, that way she can do like the 9 to 1. She knows she's got a time limit.
And
where,
she's got a mate there, so she feels safe.
yeah, but she's got a time limit where she doesn't feel like, fuck, how long is this night going to go on for?
Like, some of those nights
She's got the
were
lift.
bad,
I'll
weren't
have
they?
food for her. And she can make sure she's there for the friend
And
who
she
wants
can
to
still
have
have a
fun
good time too.
Yeah, exactly. Because I used to have a lot more fun if I knew when I was getting picked up, who
All
was
the
picking me
time.
up, and if there was guaranteed food after it as well.
Yeah, it was the worst when it's just like your lift had pulled out on you and then you're like, shit, I'm going to need to get an Uber or a cab home. And if the lads aren't wanting to leave at that time, I'm kind of fucked. And no one wants to pay the full cab fare either. Like, you always want to split it in halves or thirds.
Yeah. How depressing was it with the if you had to go to the city and then they had replacement buses?
Oh, that's
Just killing
nightmare
your
fuel.
Man,
There's no way you enjoy your night like that. You actually may as well call it a day.
yeah, I would. For me to enjoy a nightclub like perfectly, I know for a fact I would enjoy it if the prees were at someone's house. There was like a limo to the
That'd
event.
be cool.
The event we had like a booked out table, like our own private space.
You're not
where we
waiting
could-
in line forever to get in as well.
And we can go out to the dance floor, but we can also have our own.
You're sort of like
private,
secluded.
yeah. And there's a cutoff point that's not too late that we can get.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, that's the
100%.
thing. Like, I'm at the stage where I must admit I'm actually itching to go to like a bar or just out and have a bit of a dance with like some music and have some drinks.
We still need to do that day party thing.
But in the back of my mind as well, I'm also like, the thought of being out at 1 a.m., 2 a.m. in the morning just doesn't excite me.
You just know it's going to throw you.
Well, like, I stayed up until it would have been like 1:15 because Ali had a concert in the city last weekend and she was staying the night. And she's just like, oh, we'll still be awake when I get home. And I was like, yeah, that's fine. Mate, midnight to fucking 1:30. I was like, I'm going to die. Like, I can't, I actually could not physically stay awake. And it wasn't even like, oh, I'll play a video game for an hour and a half. Like, I actually was like, the thought of even turning my PlayStation on to play a game for like that, I was like, I could not, that's like the worst thing that I could do.
Yeah. I wish there was a way that alcohol, like, if I've had a long day and I know I've got to go out, It's not like, all right, rally around, smash some cans, that'll get me up and about. It's like, no, I'll probably be more
You're actually
tired.
dreading it.
Yeah.
I don't know if you were ever the same as well. Like, so many times, I know, obviously, again, you and I used to go out clubbing. I definitely got in the mindset of, like, the week leading up to, like, the day of clubbing, I used to be like, I cannot wait, I'm looking forward to it. And then almost on the day of, I'd get, like, this anxiety or, like, I don't want to do that. I can think of anything worse.
Yeah, whenever it was the city.
Fuck, I've got to actually go to that.
Whenever
and then
you're
trying to think of like good excuses in your head, and you're almost convincing yourself, I'm going to have a shit time. Like I'm not actually going to enjoy myself. And even on the lead up there, people are like, oh, you can't wait, like this DJ. And you're just like, I don't want to be here. I want to go home. And then sometimes, surely enough, you'd actually be like, fuck, that was an amazing night. Like I actually had a killer time. But there was nothing worse when the night just wasn't good. And you've already gone into it knowing that you're not going to be having a good time. And people are around there trying to be like, come on. And you're just like, leave me the fuck alone.
It is the worst when you're just not vibing it. Some of your friends aren't vibing it. Maybe one person backs out because they want to see a girl. So now they're out of the group.
Someone hasn't got let in.
Yeah, it's now
it's
just
classic, like, oh,
it's
shit.
terrible. Someone's bumped into you. You realise you've shouted drink. So you go, it's $100. I paid for the Uber and no one else has paid yet, and I'm going to have to message everyone tomorrow.
Yeah, and then I look like the bad guy because I'm messaging people for money.
Yeah, and Lyft just went off with a girl with a tramp stamp. So sweet. Fan-fucking-tastic.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know. It's so much effort for little reward, I feel.
Very little reward.
And sometimes as well, like we've said it before, and I hate repeating ourselves on the podcast, but the prees is sometimes the best. It's actually like we should have like made prees the whole night.
Yeah, just kept that going.
Like the music was fine, the tunes were good, everyone's having conversations, everyone's having a laugh. You got beer pong going on, some people are chilling out on the couches saying like, man, I fucking love you so much and all that stuff. It's just like the party and the vibe was there.
Yeah.
We didn't need to take it, like it was there.
Yep.
It was good there. There was food, we could have called for pizza, we could have got Uber Eats and all that. Like it's actually not too far from home. Mm-hmm. Sort of thing. Yeah.
I'll definitely agree with you on that one. Fuck. It's just
it could also just be because we're older.
Yeah. There's so many times on the podcast where we're talking about stuff. I'm like, fuck, we've just gotten old.
Oh, well and truly, because I know younger me would be frothing at the scene. Like younger me, especially now that I have weekends to myself, it's like, dude, I'm going out Saturday night and I'm going to get fact.
Yeah.
Like well and truly, I don't give a shit. Whereas now I'm like,
I need to save that money.
Yeah, people are like, oh, what are you going to do Saturday night? It's like, probably just going to be with the missus and have a night in, if I'm honest. But in saying that, if someone was like, hey, I want to go to a bar, have a few drinks, I'd also be very down to do that. But there's no way I'd be doing that every weekend like what we used to. Not a chance in hell.
Yeah, some people spend... That's, I can't understand people who, if you are on good money, but you go out all the time, or you're betting a lot, I feel, I don't know, like it's like the people that got work in the mines.
Defeats the purpose.
Well, if you work in the mines, I thought the whole point of having a shitty job
was to then get ahead.
The great pay. So then, like 5 years later,
you got like this amazing house. You've got like your dream house, more or less.
Yeah,
like your dream car, like just things that like you actually like appreciate. You're not pissing it away on.
Yeah, if you've worked in the mines for 5 years and you've pissed all that away on betting and clubbing, I'd be like, what the fuck?
Yeah, like what have you actually
done?
Yeah,
bro,
so words right out of my mouth.
Fucking hell. Oh,
I just don't see the point in enduring such a hard working job and all that, getting like this big payout only to then just do that.
Yeah, no shit.
But obviously, I had a good mate who worked in the union who every single weekend was just going out and blowing his money on that.
He did get paid a lot.
Which was then hilarious as well because it'd always be like, oh, no, don't worry about paying me back. Like, I've got money, and then shortly enough, you get home and, hey, man, can you transfer me the money that you owe? And you're like,
worst type of
you just said that you don't care about your money, but then you're on me about your money. Like, and I'm not the type of person that's going to jip you. Like, I'm going to make sure that you get your money back. Like, I hate owing people money. That's the worst thing. I couldn't think of anything worse than owing someone money.
I think the thing that's worse is the people who don't tell you. And what I mean by that is like maybe you forget, like people forget.
Obviously.
Or maybe there's you didn't pay as much as you thought. And instead of someone like bringing it up with you about, hey, bro, don't know if you remember, but need that 40 if that's all right. It's been about a week. People like that going around the group. If you can leave that fucking league, he doesn't pay me like 40. That. And like, do you know the worst ones? It could be with a lot of things. When something like that or anything gets brought up 6 months later, and you go, "How long were you you holding on?
Yeah,
for
like
that
why would you not
for?
just tell me?
That's such an easy fix, but you've been holding on to that for
And they're just,
fucking-
and you have noticed like over the time, you're like, geez, I just feel like they're not like we're not as close. Or, like there's a bit of conflict there.
I think that happens in relationships all the time.
Oh,
If your partner brings up something like it could be something stupid. Like,
usually it is. By the way,
I don't like you in grey trackies. Which is just definitely not true. Everyone loves grey trackies, but say that's been a thing. You know, I want to admit it. And you go and you look back and you think, that's my go-to. I wear grey trackies.
they're comfy.
You
like them. I like them.
It's been 6 months. So you're telling me for the last 6 months, only now you're opening up to me and say you hate me in grey trackies. What do you mean?
Yeah, like, where's it? Like, it's just stupid.
It is. Yeah, people have just got to open up. Open their
You
heart.
need to. Tell us
Be
how you
honest.
really feel.
Tell us how you really feel.
Oh, wow.
The
Hiccup
hiccups.
right at the end there.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, that was Morokai with 2 eyes. We'll see you in the next one.
Boom.
Boom. Fuck, you know. Oh.